The Colonial Pipeline opens back up in stages. China becomes the second country to land a rover on Mars. Google says the future will do away with passwords altogether, and a special mini-series answering your questions about ransomware. All that and more next on The Computer Doctor Show.
You're listening to The Computer Doctor Show, your source for technology subjects affecting your business and personal life during this new normal. Your host is an award-winning office technician and IT specialist, author, tutor, ethical hacker, and recent winner on localbest.com as the best computer shop in Tucson. Broadcasting live, here's Aaron Moss.
Hello, Tucson and the podcast world. Welcome to the Computer Doctor Show, episode 44. I am Aaron Moss, your host. Good to have you with us every Saturday at 2 p.m. right here on KVY 1030 The Voice, trusted local news and talk. We post all of our shows and bonus content on computerdoctorshow.com. Again, computerdoctorshow.com. Our open lines, 520-790-2040. Feel free to call in anytime with your comments and questions, and even complaints if you have some. This is an open forum, so call in, bring it on. Co-hosting with me today is Dave from the cast of the Unscrewed Theater.
Thank you so much for having me here, Aaron.
All right, good to have you here. We have a great show for you today. Today we are celebrating our first anniversary, our one-year anniversary with KVOY 1030 here. We've been on this station for 1 year, actually tomorrow, but I thought I would just mention it today. So we're very happy to be here, hopefully for another year. We're still trying to make this show a 1 hour show. We're still at a half-hour show, and we are still looking for sponsors. So give us a call if you know another company, or if you are a company that would like to sponsor the show and get some airtime with us. Today, we also have a special mini-series that we're going to start about ransomware, because ransomware has gained some increased attention this past week. Why do you think that is, Dave?
Well, what I imagine they held something for ransom.
Yes. So it's been all in the news, the Colonial Pipeline. So, and that was due to a ransomware attack. And now a lot of people are wondering about ransomware, and they've heard about ransomware. We're going to start answering some questions. Now, if you have some questions that you would like to answer, to have answers to, give us a call during the show today so that we can get your question. We'll answer it live when you ask it, or we'll put it onto the list as the mini-series continues. We already have about 15 questions on the list, but if there's a question that you have that is not on the list, hey, we'll make sure. We already have some questions. How does it happen and how does it work? So those are actually questions that we already have in the list. But thank you very much. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to get into our top stories for this week, and that is China becomes the second country to successfully land an operational rover on Mars.
Soon Mars is just going to be littered with rovers from every country and everywhere, and you'll be able to go buy your own rover, send it to Mars.
It's gonna look like like a scene out of Star Wars or something. You're gonna land on a planet, and there's gonna be all these droids there.
You'll just be tripping over rovers left and right.
You're gonna be trying to take a nap, and then there's gonna be like something probing you. Hey, get away from here. Okay. But hey, that's where the planet Mars is going. So this Chinese rover will start exploring a section of Mars called Utopia Planitia in a few days to search for, you guessed it, evidence of life. And they're still looking for evidence of life on Mars. I don't think they're going to find anything. And now Tucson has a lot of astro people.
Right.
People that study astrophysics and, things of that sort. They study the stars, they study space. There's a lot of people like that. So some of our more astute listeners may be under the impression that China is not the second country, rather it is the third country. So the reason why we're saying that it is the second country to successfully land an operational rover on Mars is because the Soviet Union actually landed on the planet in 1971, but the mission had failed after the craft stopped transmitting information soon after touchdown. So we're not considering. But if you consider that a successful, then China would be the third, but the United States has had about 9 successful missions since 1976 on Mars. So what do you call a person from Mars? So a person from Earth is called an Earthling.
Right.
So what would you call a person from Mars?
I think Martian is the generally accepted term.
Martian. When I see it in writing, I think it looks like Martian.
Martian?
Martian or Martian. Well, Martian just to me, Martian just means any random alien.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
See, I mean, I think they got to come from Mars to be a Martian. Otherwise, it's like
So what do you call someone from Venus or someone,
Venusian.
or Mercurian?
I mean, I'm
Mercurian?
sure if you just kind of go back through all of Isaac Asimov's books, he's got a name for each one of them.
Okay.
Thanks to science
There
fiction.
are some cities actually that are very, very difficult to get a like someone from Delaware, and Delawarean.
Delawarean. Yeah, there's some weird ones out there. I mean, I just leave it up to each city. You got to come up with a name for your people, and then submit it to the rest of us, and maybe we'll use it if it's good.
So, but if people start living on Mars, we're gonna have to come up with some sort of name for them. So I guess Martian or Martian.
I mean, I'd be proud to be a Martian if I lived
there. Did you know that communication between Mars and Earth right now is about 17 minutes? So as you know, as the planets circle the sun, Earth comes close to Mars, and then it leaves that close proximity. Right now, we're in the proximity of 17-minute transmission cycles. So, so it's easy. If we want live information about Mars, it takes about 17-minute delay.
So still faster than AOL.
Oh yeah. Well, everything's faster than AOL. I can slide a piece of paper over to you with a message, and that will be faster than AOL. So
actually, did you know they did tests to compare data transfer rates? They had a bunch of pigeons carrying high-capacity SD cards that actually proved to be faster than some major internet pathways.
I believe there are some programs in the automotive industry. Like there's this program. It's called All Data. It's a 500 gig memory. All the data is contained within a 500 gigabyte disk. There is a way for you to download it from the internet. Could you imagine downloading 500 gigs of data? So for most connections, that takes about 2 or 3 weeks just to download it, just to download that at a normal rate, theoretically.
You're right.
So in some cases, it would be faster to have download it onto a disk and then put it into a FedEx box and then just ship it to wherever you need it to go.
Absolutely.
There are some cases where that is actually faster than such a large thing. But a piece of Mars is set to be returned to Earth by July. So we're actually going to have a piece of Mars here on Earth for further examination. So
cool.
That's kind of exciting. Also in news, Google says that doing away with passwords altogether will be in the future. And it's interesting to know that there are still some people that have their password as password or 1234. Those are the most popular. But more often, people do have a very, very good password, but they turn around, they use that same password everywhere.
Right.
It is encouraged that everyone get a password manager like Dashlane, or also a lot of the browsers have password memory features on them, like Google Chrome.
Yeah. So
there's features in there where you could actually have it generate a unique password, and these passwords, a normal person could not see, because it's all kinds of special characters. They mean nothing. It's complete nonsense or gibberish to the average person, but that's actually a password. So there are programs that actually do that. But what Google is trying to do is they're taking two-factor authentication to the next level. And they're making it so much so that in the future, we're not going to have two-factor authentication, but we'll have multi-factor authentication, where you could have, so like for one thing, most smartphones, in order to unlock them, they have the facial recognition. You can do the thumbprint. You can do the special some sort of pattern.
Yeah.
And also there's another way where they display a picture, and then you have to like hit certain spots of the picture in a certain order. And now all of these are just security measures. So it could just be a series of your face and your thumb, or your thumb and a pattern, or a PIN number, a pattern, and your face and your thumb. So that's like multi-factor. Now, in that process, you're not putting in any actual passcode, but the device is uniquely identifying, which is the whole purpose of having a secure network, is to uniquely identify the same person that created this account is the same person as trying to access it right now.
And the less we can try to involve faulty human memory in that, because we've all forgotten a password before, the better, right?
Absolutely. I actually forgot a very important password today.
No.
Actually, yesterday. So now I got to go back into my memory and go remember it. But there was even a 66% of people admit to using the same passwords in multiple sign-ins. And the two-factor authentication that Google offers as an option will soon be a requirement. So there's not going to be, hey, you can make your account more secure by, doing this extra two-factor authentication, but they're going to say, no, you have to. What is your phone? We're sending you something. You don't have it, then we can't create an account for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of sites and businesses that are requiring that now, where you don't get the option to not do it.
Right. So security keys, they're even talking about adding other security features, because our phones are going to be something of a security measure that our smartphones in the future are going to have certain security measures that are designed to interact with online accounts that can help with this unique identification things. So all these things can be a level of security: your face, an object, a QR code maybe that's in the room.
Don't forget your location too. A lot of them are using geo-tracking to go, if you're all of a sudden in another country, we know it's not you.
Yeah, so you even have to tell your phone, hey, I'm traveling today.
Right.
But today I'm going to be in Oro Valley. Tomorrow I'm going to be in Phoenix. So that's where we're going. Up next on the Computer Doctor Show, we're going to take a look at some of other science anniversaries, and we're going to start our series on ransomware mini-series. We hope to hear back from you. We'll be right back after this quick break. Hey, Tom, we're taking a break.
Solar is popping up all over town. Why? Because solar just makes sense. Say goodbye to expensive summer electricity bills. Call or text Julie Festerling at Icon Power, 520-307-1013. Avoid the new 7.9% price increase with the utility company. Call Julie at 520-307-1013. Icon Power will help you take control of your electric bill.
Perfect Look Photography is a photography business that serves individuals, families, wedding parties, children's parties, quinceañeras, and family reunions. We also do headshots for actors and model portfolios. We photograph all types of events in Tucson and communities in Pima and Santa Cruz counties. In addition, we provide more types of photos than any photographer in Tucson, including green screen, art photography, montages, and DVD slideshows. We provide great photos at great prices. For more information or to get a quote, please call 499-4209.
Ugly Goose Car Rental is new in Tucson, providing a low-cost auto rental alternative for just $100 per week. The only catch? The cars are ugly, but very safe and reliable to get you to work, school, shopping, and all your important appointments. To reserve your $100 a week car rental, call Ugly Goose Car Rental at 520-261-0439. Again, 520-261-0439.
Computer Doctor of Tucson is the best choice in desktop support in Tucson. They fix error messages, power and boot problems, install of software and hardware, and much more. You can come to them, or they can come to you, or even have a remote support session so they can fix your issues over the phone quickly. Give them a call at 261-5508, 261-5508. Visit them on the web at computerdoctortucson.com. Computer Doctor of Tucson, because technology is great when it works.
Welcome back to the Computer Doctor Show. Before we get into our next segment, David, what can you tell us about the Unscrewed Theater?
Well, we are starting to work on plans to see if we can reopen and get into the theater. We'll be posting information on our website, unscrewedtheater.org, as that develops. Nothing to say yet, unfortunately, but please come see our shows on Zoom. There's one tonight at 7:30, and then, of course, every Saturday at 7:30, and every other Saturday at 9:30 we have an uncensored show. So please come see them. They're all free. They're wonderful.
All right. And I just want to, Tucsonians love their theaters, and the whole city, and everybody knows this, that places like the Unscrewed Theater, the various historical theaters, and other entertainment venues, they've all been hurting. So please go out there and support our entertainment, our actors, our funny men, our everyone in the entertainment industry, so that we can continue to have them. Tech anniversaries and science anniversaries. We just had a few, but we're just going to have this abbreviated. The first space station was launched May 14th, 1973. So that was, how many years ago? Was that 40? Is that 45 or 46 years ago?
Would be.
I don't know. So I'm 40. Let's see. It's 1970. I'm thinking 47 years ago was 1973. All right. You might have to get out your calculator.
I know. I'm
for
like,
this next one.
put two computer guys in a room and ask us to do math.
Yeah. You might have to get out your calculator for this next one. May 15th, 1918 was the first airmail service stamps that were sold. So prior to that, I didn't know this when I was doing the research on this, that airmail, previously to that, everything was done on ground transportation.
Right.
So when airmail first started, it was actually through the military. So they were actually, there were no mail planes per se. A lot of the air transportation was being done by the military. Now they're already transporting military supplies, so they just throw, I guess, a sack of mail in there, and that had to go cross country, and then that would be airmail.
Right.
Okay.
That beat the previous system, which was just a really big catapult.
Yes, or by horse, or
Right.
by those types of things. So airmail is now, since 1918, whatever that year is. I didn't pre-calculate.
That's
this.
103. That one.
103.
21 minus 18.
Okay, if you
Yeah.
say so. Oh, yep. I think you're right. Okay, 103 years of airmail service. Excellent. The Computer Doctor Show also turns 1 year old tomorrow. So we've been here with KVOI 1030, The Voice, Trusted News and Talk here for 1 year. We're very happy to be here. Hopefully we'll have many more years here. And we want to thank the Bustos Media people and all the staff that has helped us over this past year. And we also want to thank you, our listeners, for listening to us for the last year to keep us here on the air. In this next part, we're going to be talking about ransomware. Now, ransomware got very real for some people because of this colonial pipeline that's been in the news. So we wanted to spend some time on this and have some increased awareness of what ransomware is and some of the protection that goes along with this. Our call-in line today, 520-790-2040. We're going to be taking questions about ransomware, and we already have a list of questions here that we're going to start with, but if a question comes up, just call on in, and we'll make sure that it gets added to the list. So we want to start this first ransomware mini-series. I'm going to call it part 1, but I have no idea how many parts it's going to be. I have no idea how many questions are going to come up as a result of this. But the first obvious question is, what is ransomware? So, Dave, you want to take a quick crack at that? You're pretty smart.
Absolutely, yeah. Ransomware it came around when people realized instead of making viruses that could destroy things, they can make some money off of it if they lock up all your files on your computer and tell you you can't have them back until you pay me.
Okay, excellent. So exactly like Dave said, it's basically a program that locks your files. But that's only the first stage. The second stage is them contacting you either by some message on your screen, and what that message is, it gives you information about how to send them money, how much money they want, and after you send them this money, they will send you back what is called this unlock key to unlock the files that have just been locked. Now, there's no way around these locks. These locks are pretty much these locks are pretty much into your computer. Sometimes, guys like me that have equipment, we can take the hard drive out of the computer, plug it into another computer, and see if it will read on this other machine. Unfortunately, you can't do that because they are encrypted. When we say locked, that means another word for that. The technical term of what is happening is they are being encrypted. And a little bit about encryption. It's basically a code. The same way with your key, your key has notches on it. That's a code. If you have a locker at school and you have like a combination lock, that's a code. Okay? Unless you have the combination, you're not going to get that lock open. So this can happen electronically. Okay? So the only way that you can have these files unlocked, and a unlock code is real. They could be sitting on a real unlock code. You can really pay them this money, and they can really send you the unlock code, okay? And everything will be back to normal. Right. That's why they call it ransom. So the same way like when somebody gets kidnapped, okay, that's the first stage. The second stage is now, okay, you want them back? Yeah.
Unfortunately, James Bond doesn't work on ransomware.
That would be great if we had a James Bond.
Yeah, just send them out, take out the
or
ransomware
superhero
people, and exactly.
We actually had a superhero on our show not too long ago.
Did you now?
Yeah, I think you were here. We had the little girl, right?
Oh my goodness! Yes, she was incredibly smart.
I hope she figures something out with this ransomware. So that'd be amazing. So so after this person sends you this unlock code, then everything's back to normal. But here's the thing: when the Colonial pipeline fiasco still happening. So it turns out that the government ended up turning around and actually paying upwards of $5 million for these unlock codes. Now they decided. There are some people that have approached me and they said, "Hey, Aaron, is that setting a good precedent or is that a bad precedent? Of an example of how to deal with ransomware to pay them." Okay, so here's some things that you have to consider. For some people, that is the easiest way out.
Right.
Okay. There are other ways. For example, there are decryption softwares that are out there, and you could get into a decryption and you can figure the whole thing out. One of the things that could save you is to always have some sort of file on your computer that you also have elsewhere, and it be the exact same file.
Right.
So there are some softwares out there that can say, hey, this is what the file is supposed to be. This is what the file got encrypted as. And it can take those two files and say, oh, okay, if this is what it's supposed to look like, and it now looks like this, I now can figure out or calculate the code that it took to get there, and then I can just reverse it. And then make that reversal code and apply it to all of these other locked files. And that's how a decryption thing works. But some of our future questions will involve, how did the ransomware actually shut down the Colonial pipeline? Should you ever pay the ransom? How does ransomware get into your computer in the first place? Can it affect mobile devices? Can it affect apps? Does it affect Apple or Linux users? Does it affect cloud storage? Can it be detected before it happens? How do you know if my computer has ransomware? What can I do to protect myself? How can you reverse the encryption without paying? So we talked a little bit about that. Does it affect backed up files? And does ransomware steal data? Does ransomware delete files? And can ransomware travel to other devices that you have? So these are some very, very good questions. Hopefully we will get into some of these things. But we do have to start wrapping up the show. Great show today. Tune into some of the upcoming weeks as we talk more about ransomware. My name is Aaron Moss, your host and technology expert. We have Dave co-hosting today. Tom Fairbanks is behind the board operator, making us sound good. Thank you very much. Listen to the Computer Doctor Show every Saturday at 2 p.m. right here on KVY, 1030 The Voice. We'll see you next week.